How's everyone doing today? All right, well, I'm a big guy on affirmations, so I want you to say this with me. So when I point at you, I want you to say, to achieve, okay? You guys got that? To achieve? All right, so you dream. To achieve. You dream. To achieve. You dream. To achieve. Awesome. All right, cool. So just a little mantra that I do every day. I say, I dream to achieve, but if you're with a group of people, say, you dream to achieve. Why that's important is because I'm going to share with you a really kind of cool thought that's come to my mind about visualization, but not just for selfish or individual goals, but using visualization and goal setting to achieve what I call revolutions, or moments in time that could really transform society for the betterment. So a little about me, just real quick. I'm an entrepreneur. I am a recovering entrepreneur. I've failed in the past. I went back into it. I succeeded. I wanted more. And it's just, for me, freedom. That's what I call myself. I'm a creator, and it allows me to be free and allows me to be my true self. And, if you want to know more about me, I highly suggest you check out DreamItAlive.com, which I'll talk about right now. DreamItAlive.com is kind of what saved me from my toxic past. When I say toxic past, I say being what you call that selfish entrepreneur, an entrepreneur that does things for the vanity goals, the money goals, to live up to, reputations, live up to what people are thinking, all those kinds of things. I started to realize that the world in entrepreneurship is not about myself trying to live up to some name or standard that I visualized in my head. It's about creating something that could help others achieve their own dreams and goals. And that's for me. And I'm not saying what I have is your thing, but that's just for me what I felt was true freedom. And so that is what DreamItAlive.com is. It's a social network that empowers you to create, share, and promote your dreams and goals with anyone, anytime, anywhere, any place. Or you can use the dreams that you put on the site on your own dream board as a private goal setting tool, which is totally fine too. So, thank you again for allowing me to share that. So while DreamItAlive.com was growing, and we've been growing very well these past 6 to 9 months, I got really into the company. As an entrepreneur, you're supposed to really become your best customer. I really got into it. I started to go on my dream board every day, twice a day, 3 times a day, and I started to just visualize stuff that I put on my dream board, and I started to have them happen. And I thought to myself, what is it that made this successful? The first thing is what I did is I just visualized, quite frankly, very simply. Michael Phelps is the best example. How many here know who Michael Phelps is? All right, yeah, I know, go Team USA, right? He's won an insane amount of gold medals. And if you ever see him in any interviews, he always says that visualization was the key driver for him. If you hear interviews with Michael Jordan, he talks about the same thing. He's the most competitive man in the industry at the time when he was in basketball. He wasn't the biggest guy. He practiced hard, but he really just visualized every outcome. So first thing is visualization, and that's what I started to get into through DreamItAlive. The second thing is I put it down on a dream board. So for those who don't know, dream board is a pictorial collage of all the things that represent you, the things that you want to have that dream life. You put down intentions. I know some people are probably looking at the guys over there. I'm a straight guy, but at the same time, I want a certain look in a suit. And so I have to admit, as a guy, I think every guy has a secret jealous crush on that guy, like a straight guy crush, you know what I mean? I know, I saw a couple heads there, I know. So, but all honesty, the dream board represents all the areas of your life that you want to become the best version of yourself. So that's all I'm going to talk about for DreamItAlive.com. That's all I'm going to talk about visualization. That's all I'm going to talk about dream boards. I wanted to give you that primer because, like I said, as I started to manifest my own dreams and start to see our community manifest their dreams and use visualization, use dream boards, I started to think, what? How do the leaders utilize visualization and utilize dream boards? So I kind of took a step back and I went to someone who means near and dear to my heart. I grew up reading his books. I've seen his movie gazillion times. I even went to a self-awareness camp in high school kind of themed around his name. And that name is Mahatma Gandhi. And Mahatma Gandhi, for all intents and purposes, had a vision, okay? His vision was simple. He lived in a country at the time where he wasn't the first-rate citizen. He was born in a country where he was not he was not like equal as another group who was in that same country. Now, blessed to live in America because we all have equalization here, but at the time when Gandhi lived, he was, reporting to someone else who was in his country. So Gandhi, like many people, had a self-actualization. His own vision was, let's free India. That was his vision. His vision was simple, let's free India. Now, it didn't happen that simple, but he had this idea of like, what can India be like if we free it? So that was the first step. He visualized, the same thing that I did, the same thing Michael Phelps did, the same thing any of you guys can do. He just had a vision. But here's where Gandhi took it to a next level, and here's where the fun part's gonna happen. So Gandhi got a group of people. He straight up said to various people who wanted to be part of the, the Quit India movement or the freedom fighters, there's different names that they've caused it. But he said to them, you know what? I don't like this. Let's free India. Let's do something in a meaningful way. Let's become our own country, okay? So that's what he first did. So first you're thinking, okay, Gandhi was disgruntled. Gandhi had a vision. Gandhi got people on board. So you would think that Gandhi would be this leader of the vision. Here's what actually happened. Here's why the collective vision worked out. Gandhi kind of left the whole situation. He was, of course, doing what he can do, but he inspired people to believe, and I call this a Gandhi state of mind in many ways, because he got people to believe that Gandhi state of thinking of, okay, let's free India. Not because Gandhiji said so, but because I say so. They took the vision that he did and made it their own vision. So it became this like collective vision, and that's where I feel our society is now moving towards, and I call that collective visualization. So collectively, they all felt like they can do something meaningful for the country. And Gandhi, as much as he is labeled as the forefather of India, according to some people, whether it's good or bad, that's not what this is about. But the point is that he is labeled as someone who helped create that independent movement because he had that vision. And the outcome, because of the collective visioning, is that India got freed. I mean, India, enough to the point where the country that was overruling India decided to leave. And this is kind of fascinating because the last part of collective visualization is that the original person that kind of created this movement has to be the most authentic person. So what did Gandhi do? He just went back to his simple life. He went back to his village in the one part of India he grew up in. He created his camp around, and he just went back to what he did, just living a simple life. And that's pretty interesting. He didn't become president. He didn't he wasn't labeled as the reason why India was freed. He was just labeled as, he was the original visioner, but collectively the movement of all the other people took that vision and made it what is now, at that time, independent India. So that's kind of what I meant by what he did. It's collective visualization. So enough of lecturing about DreamItAlive, enough of giving you a history lesson on what visualization on a collective level can do. Let's talk about how you can do it, or people who have inspired from collective visualization, okay? You must know Nelson Mandela. He did the same thing. He was angry at the way he was living in South Africa. He didn't like the way things happened. He collectively got people with a vision. And that whole Free South Africa movement was beyond Nelson Mandela. Yes, Nelson Mandela is clearly the forefather, but it wasn't him that did it. It was the people that took their own I am Nelson Mandela vision and took it to a whole nother level. A common example is Barack Obama. The Yes We Can example. And again, just disclaimer, I'm not promoting Obama or not promoting Obama, just giving you an example. The Yes We Can example is a great example of a movement, of an idea, of people going around our country just saying, yes, we can change America. It's the same collective vision that Obama did based on what he was talking about. Another example, for those entrepreneurs out there, I was just in Kansas City for this phenomenal leadership summit. It's a thing called Startup Weekend. It's like a 54-hour startup boot camp for very, very, very early entrepreneurs, or as Mark Cuban from Shark Tank calls the wantrepreneurs. The people who aren't entrepreneurs yet, but they want to be an entrepreneur, right? And it's this cool camp, and it's very interesting because it's primarily volunteer-based. The people that run Startup Weekend, I believe there's 60 people total in the organization that run it, but the camp has had 100,000 people attend, and the amount of volunteers that run these 54-hour boot camps is in the thousands. They don't get paid, they do it out of a labor of love. They took that collective vision of helping entrepreneurs, creating the next big idea, and just going from there. That's pretty impressive. So collective visualization can even work in what you are, in everyday lives. So let's work on you now. How many here want to create a revolution? Want to do something collectively with a group? Raise your hands. All right, so this part is for you. I'm literally going to share with you what Gandhi did, what all these companies did, what this startup weekend did, what Nelson Mandela did. So here's the simplest couple steps. First step is you got to have a vision. You got to visualize. It's really simple. Close your mind, visualize something that makes you truly happy. I call it the perfect 10 moment. It could be something silly like, you want to own a gummy bear store, or you want to create a new, Pringles flavor, to something serious like, immigration, or you want to help the Silicon Beach movement, treat women entrepreneurs better, whatever it is. I'm just giving you some examples of how extreme or how funny or how simple it could be. Naturally, I'm a big promoter of dream boards, but if you don't want to do a dream board, that's cool too. But you got to put down that vision. And I prefer visuals. I think our society is moving to a very visual-centric world. You look at the top social media sites, whether it's the Pinterest or the Facebooks, and OneDayDreamItAlive.com, we're all visual-focused kind of sites. You have to put it down as a visual, and you got to share that visual. You got to get a group of like-minded dreamers. That's the word I like to use. They always say, what I liked about that presentation earlier is you talked about, surrounding yourself, with like-minded people, people who can, work with you on building that dream business. Well, I think it's people who have that same dream mindset, people that would work with you together, people who think along the same lines. So find those like-minded dreamers. The third step is, you got to just celebrate it. You got to give it away and move on. Richard Branson's a great example. He's created over 250 companies in the Virgin Group. He had a vision for Virgin. He sent it to a bunch of entrepreneurs. He's involved in the beginning, and now it's their own entity. And he just, sticks his tongue out, rides his bike, goes out to Necker Beach, and just thinks up the next vision. But that's really it. It's all you have to do if you do those steps. And if you do that, you will create your own revolution. Again, just to sum it up, collectively visualize something. First, you have to visualize, put it down, get a group together, inspire them to take it on a whole new level, and you will thrive. And I'm going to leave you with this quote from, I would call the chief dream officer, Walt Disney. And basically, he wrote, "All of your dreams can come true if we have the courage to do something about it." Thanks.